Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Hashtag Gaming Arena. Today we're going to be looking at all the new EX-03 decks and support coming out just in time for EX-03 so you can get ready for the next set. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our new decks here. Our new decks, we're going to get more aquatic support with Aegis Dramon. We're going to get the new purple-red Imperial Dramon Dragon mode, Trial of the Fort Great Dragons, Examon, and Hina Forlings. For our new support, we're getting support for Chaos Dramon. We're getting support for D-Brigade, Hydra Bloom, or Bloom Hydra, which is Hydramon basically use it in Bloomlord, and we're getting more Galamon support. So let's go ahead and take a look at our first deck. It's going to be Chaos Dramon. And so Chaos Dramon is new support for Machine Dramon. It's a new EX-03 card that says on play when Digivolving, you may place up to 3 red or black level 5 cards with Cyborg underneath the Digimon to Digivolve 1 for each card placed. And then it has the same or similar effects to Machine Dramon's all turns, which says when this Digimon would be deleted and returned to your hand or deck, you may trash up to two level 5 cards in this Digimon's Evolution cards to prevent it from leaving play, right? The only thing that's mainly different between this and Machine Dramon is that its DP can be reduced, but what this lets you do is it lets you Digivolve on top of the Machine Dramon for only 1, put more sources underneath from your trash and from your hand just to get more ESS materials, but specifically for more layers of protection. And then you get the option card Hyper Infinity Cannon, which while you have a level 6 Digimon with Machine in its traits, you can ignore its color, which means you can play with only Machine Dramon on the board. But it Digivolve 3, one of your opponent's Digimon, and then lets you put a card from hand or trash underneath the Chaos Dramon to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. It's getting a little bit more support with more Digivolve access and more removal, as well as more protection through Chaos Dramon. So it's generally just kind of a net buff for the deck. Next up, we're looking at D-Brigade. And so D-Brigade is a fan favorite. It's getting new Digimon at each level. We're getting a new Command Dramon, new Seals Dramon, new Tank Dramon, and a new Dark Dramon. And so the key things here is that this new Seals Dramon gives all your Command Dramon rush. So as soon as you play out a Command Dramon, if it's still your turn, you can immediately swing with it, which is great with the On Deletion Command Dramon that we all know and love. The new Tank Dramon is going to go ahead and search more of your D-Brigade, and it's going to play out more Command Dramon. And again, with the Seals Dramon effect, those are going to get more rush, and you're going to go ahead and swing more with it. And the new Dark Dramon, I'm not going to lie, I'm not a big fan of it. Playing out D-Brigades isn't going to be able to delete much because most of your things are pretty small, but it is a free Evo, and it lets you activate your Tank Dramon ESS and lets you put D-Brigades at the top of your deck. So it's not something too bad to add. I would still play the old Command Dramon, or the old Dark Dramon, but you know, the deck's getting a lot more support. It's going to be looking good. D-Brigade's always going to have a good hold over the format. And so next we're going to be looking at Bloom Hydra. And this looks like it's going to be the best deck in the format, especially with no cross in the format. You're getting rid of that Crimson Blaze, and it's getting new powerful removal with Hydramon. Hydramon's going to, when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and then it's similar to Bloomlord's effect, where when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, for each other suspended Digimon with Vegetation, Plant, or Fairy in play, you gain memory. So if you have 5 Digimon on board, it's going to be all suspended. It's going to be a free Evo. And then at the end of your turn, if you have 2 or more suspended Digimon with those traits in play, you may bottom deck one of your opponent's suspended Digimon. And it's not that hard to suspend your opponent's Digimon with this deck, especially if you have access to Sumane Shanti, but the big thing is going to be the new EX-03 Pomomon, which is going to be ridiculously good. Because when an effect suspends that Digimon, that Pomomon, you can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, which 1, it lets you get free swings through things with Bloomlord, but 2, it lets you use Hydramon's effect to bottom deck literally anything on their board, because there's almost no prevention or protection from being suspended. And so last, we're going to take a look for our new support decks at Galamon. Galamon's getting 3 specific pieces. It's going to be the new Purple-Red Guilmon, the new Purple-Red Growlmon, the Purple-Red War Growlmon. You're going to see most Gallant lists run usually the same thing with these sprinkled in. These aren't going to be as big as the other support pieces, but it's still going to be pretty solid because their on deletions for Guilmon and Growlmon are going to let you, 1, pop something on their board, or even better, mill your opponent and yourself. And so that's going to set up for Crimson mode, because Crimson mode, again, is going to do more checks based on how many cards are in trash. For the Growlmon, you get an extra check if you kill the Digimon for the turn, and the War Growlmon is going to be the key piece of this deck, because it's going to mill the top 3 cards of your deck, and then you have 5 or more cards in trash, which you definitely will have with all these effects. You can play a Guilmon or a Takato from your hand or trash without paying its cost. And the great thing about playing the Guilmon is that when you attack with the Galamon on top, you're going to be able to use the Growlmon effect to pop that Guilmon you just played, mill 2 more cards, or pop a Digimon on their board, and then gain an extra check. So now we're going to be taking a look at some of the new decks. And so here's Aegis Dramon. Aegis Dramon is a sea animal aquatic deck, much similar to the Metal Piranhamon that you might have seen, or King Waman that you might have seen around. And so let's go ahead and look at both of these cards here, or look at all of them. And so Crabmon and Abijamon, these are both kind of on plays. Crabmon gives jamming and Abijamon gives blocker. And when they're played from sources, Crabmon lets you put another Digimon underneath your big stack, level 5 or lower, and Abijamon unsuspends that Digimon. And so now let's get into the level 5s and higher. And so Mega Seadramon is going to, when attacking, let you play a blue level 3 Digimon from one of your blue Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying its memory cost. It's inheritable, it does the same thing, and so you're basically always going to be using it for its inheritable. You don't want to swing with that tiny 7k body. And so when you go into Plesiomon, it plays out a blue level 3 Digimon card or a blue level 4, or a aquatic, sorry, a level 4 card from your sources without paying its memory cost, then put one from your hand underneath Plesiomon, so you get to replace it. And so Plesiomon's inheritable is really powerful. It says all turns once per turn when you play Digimon from a Digivolution card, return one of your opponent's Digimon of the same level to the bottom of its owner's deck. So if you play out a level 5, you can bottom deck another level 5 on their board. And so Aegis-Dramon lets you again play out another level blue level 3 Digimon or a Seadramon aquatic. All right, that's the translation error there. A Seadramon aquatic, and it should say sea animal as well, from your blue Digimon Digivolution cards without paying its memory cost. And then when they play a Digimon, you may activate one of this Digimon's one Digivolving effects. So specifically, you're probably going to activate Plesiomon. And so you're kind of spamming the board, putting sources underneath, getting more stuff, getting more Digimon out on board. And so you're going to be combining this with the old Metal Piranhamon. You're going to be combining this with the King Waman, just to get Digimon that when they come out on board, they have a powerful on plays, and then to cheat those Digimon out using your big stack, using your Aegis-Tron to keep swinging, getting more stuff out, and trashing security, or not trashing security, just checking security. And so let's go ahead and look at our next deck here. Our next deck is going to be Red Purple Imperial Dramon. Red Purple Imperial Dramon is super, super cool. It is, Digimon loves Imperial Dramon. They're going to keep giving Imperial Dramon support every other set after BTA. And so this new deck is kind of based around this big DNA Digivolution going up the line. It's like a huge blitz turn. All right, so we're going to go ahead and display the main combo here you're going to be doing with the Red Blue Imperial deck. And so for this to work, you have to have half of your pieces in trash, and you're going to see which pieces you need later. And you're going to need Wormmon and Vmon on your board, so you need 2 separate rookies. Most of this deck doesn't really care about what color you use, because everything can evolve for red and purple. So as long as you have both of those pieces, you're fine. So you're going to start out your turn with this. Both of these. Wormmon's going to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add a purple Digimon card with free in its traits, or a Digimon card with Imperial in its name, only to hand and trash one of them. And then your Vmon is going to trash a card with Imperial on to draw 2. And so these are helping you get more search off. You're helping you Evo, kind of the basic rookie stuff. And so what we're going to do first is, it doesn't matter if you pass turn or not with this, what we're going to do first is we're going to evolve one of the level 3s into one of your level 4s. So we're going to take Shadramon over here. Let's evolve Shadramon on top of Wormmon, right? Shadраmon's when Digivolving, it's going to activate. Activate one of the effects below. You may Digivolve one of your level 3 Digimon into a level 4 Digimon from your trash for its Digivolution cost. And then the other effect is you can DNA Digivolve. So we're going to take Flamedramon from our trash, and we're going to go ahead and put it on top of Vmon. And so now, because they have the same effect, Flamedramon's end of turn, Flamedramon's DNA Digivolve is going to activate. So we're going to take this stack, we're going to put it on top. Whoop, whoop, there we go. And then we're going to take Pyodramon out of our hands. So we're going to DNA Digivolve into Pyodramon. And so now, when Digivolving, you may play a Dino Beamon from your trash without paying its memory costs. So that's going to play out the Dino Beamon. And then, using Flamedramon's or Shadedramon's end of turn effect, you're going to DNA both of these into... Well, this one has to go underneath. Oops, let's get that one underneath. You're going to DNA both of these into Imperial Dramon Dragon Mode. And so now, Dragon Mode, kind of the key piece of the combo here. Dragon Mode's going to, when DNA Digivolving, you may choose, your opponent chooses one of their Digimon, and then you delete every other Digimon besides that Digimon. So that's incredibly powerful. And then you blitz, right? So let's blitz into security here. Oops, I'm choosing the wrong one right there. Let's blitz into security there. And then using its when attacking effect, when you attack, you get plus 2 KDP, and you can evolve into a fighter mode for paying its memory cost. That's going to be only 2. It's going to gain piercing, or it's going to have inherent piercing. And then when Digivolving, you can bottom deck an Imperial Dramon Dragon Mode. So let's go ahead and do that. Drag that off the screen. Drag that off the screen to bottom deck the Imperial Dramon Dragon Mode to make it so that it doesn't activate security effects for the turn. And so now you're swinging for it should be 2 checks with no security, and you should have wiped their board, because when you declare the blitz attack, you should have blitzed on their last Digimon using, where is it? You're using Dino Beamon's effect to attack into an unsuspended Digimon if that Digimon is unsuspended, and then you're using Piercing to still check security. And so that should be a full board wipe on the opponent's board. And if this Imperial Dramon Fighter mode is deleted, it should bring out 2 more Wormmons and Vmons for you to start comboing once again. And so it all just kind of depends on if you're able to find these pieces and get the right ones in the trash, because remember, you need 1 in hand and 1 in trash for every single line. So for example, you need 1 Flame Dramon in hand, or 1 Shade Dramon in trash, or the vice versa. You need 1 Pile Dramon in trash, or 1 Dino Beam on hand, or vice versa. The Dragon mode and the Fighter mode you both kind of need in hand, but otherwise it's a really cool combo heavy deck, but it just relies on you finding those pieces. And so moving on to the next deck here, we're going to be looking at 4 Great Dragons. And so 4 Great Dragons is a pretty cool deck. It's really, really weird. I've never seen a deck like it, and it's going to be revolving around the option card Trial of the 4 Great Dragons. And so its main is draw 1. It is an 8 cost, very expensive, but its delay lets you cheat out a 4 Great Dragons level 6. That Digimon can't be digivolved to level 7, and at the end of your turn, end of your opponent's turn, you delete that Digimon. And so you're going to be using these support pieces, the Agumon, Veedramon, Arrow Veedramon, Patamon, Gatomon, and Angelomon, to cheat out your 4 Great Dragons. And so we're going to see that Patamon's going to be searching for Angels, and your 4 Great Dragons. Your Veedramon's going to be searching for the same thing. Agumon's going to let you draw when you play a 4 Great Dragons. When you play a 4 Great Dragon, it gains Rush from Gatomon and Veedramon. And then Arrow Veedramon and Angelomon are most importantly going to cheat out one of your 4 Great Dragons. And so what 4 Great Dragons are we talking about? Here's the 4 Great Dragons right here. We're talking about Goldramon, Megidramon, Magnadramon, and Azulongmon. And so Megidramon, Magnamon, and Azulongmon are your kind of main, like, quote-unquote engine pieces here. You're going to be playing these out with the option card, and so Megidramon lets you delete our level 6 or lower Digimon if you're played out by 4 Great Dragons. Magnadramon is going to sec -1 their entire board, and Azulongmon is going to let you draw 2 and gain 2 memory. And again, all of these have the on deletion. If you don't have 4 Great Dragons in play, place 1 of your 4 Great Dragons from your hand in your battle area. And so when you have all 3 of these in trash, let's see, if you've gone through the loop, you've gone through all 3 of these, you can evolve your stack into Goldramon. And Goldramon, when Digivolving, lets you return a 4 Great Dragons from your trash to your hand, which includes the option card or one of the Digimon. But when attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -6k DP for the turn. Then you can return Magna, Azulong, and Megidramon from the trash to the bottom of your deck in order to trash the top 2 cards of your opponent's security stack. And so it's this kind of like a really weird level 6 Mega Zoo style deck where you're cheating out these gigantic monsters, and they're going to be doing big checks. They're going to be doing bad effects on the opponent's board. And we're going to go ahead and see like how good this deck becomes. I feel like it's a little bit too piece heavy. You're going to need to find everything. And again, if you don't find that option card, you're going to be stuck hurting. And so we're going to look at the next deck, and this is going to be Examon. And Examon is a fan favorite. This deck looks super cool, and a lot of people are going to try it. So let's figure out what it does, right? And so it's rolling around that big level 7 Examon, which is a DNA on a green level 6 and a blue level 6, and then using, you know, Core Dramon, Dracomon, and Wing Dramon, Ground Dramon to support it getting up there, right? And so the key thing is that Wing Dramon and Ground Dramon count as level 6s for Examon's Evo, right? So there are level 6s in this deck, but the Wing Dramon and Ground Dramon are the ones that count as those level 6s. And they both have end of your turn. You can DNA Digivolve this card and another one of your Digimon with Dragon in its name into a card from your hand for its DNA Digivolution cost. It's like a Gatomon inheritable, or Salamon inheritable, or Wormmon inheritable. It's something you've seen before, right? And so Examon introduces the new keyword Evade. If this Digimon were to be deleted, you may suspend this to prevent that deletion. And so that allows you to dodge a lot of things. It allows you to dodge pure deletion, allows you to dodge if somebody tries to swing over you. It's great, right? The only thing it doesn't dodge that's kind of deletion is DP reduction, because you will try to get deleted. You'll try to evade, and then it's still going to delete you because the DP reduction still applies onto your Digimon. But let's go ahead and look through each card here, right? So Cordramon, both Cordramons are going to be 2 cost Evos on Dracomon, and you'll see this as a trend throughout this entire deck, is that it's usually like 3 to 4 to Evo, but it's usually -1 if you're Evoing on top of the right Digimon from that line. So for example, Dracomon is a 1 cost Evo, but it's -1 or it's only 0 if it's on Babydomon, right? Cordramon's going to give you Evade, Inherent and Inheritable. The blue one and the green one's going to give you Blocker, right? And getting to the Wing Dramon and the Ground Dramon, it's pretty much the same. So nothing special right now. But when we look at the level 6s, right? These are the cool guys. Because Examon says when Digivolving, you put a green or blue Digimon with Dramon in its name from your hand under this Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card. And then when DNA Digivolving, you may play one of them from your hand without paying its memory cost, right? And when it becomes suspended, you unsuspend it and suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So both of these have the kind of same inheritable effect as they do one of their main effects. Start of opponent's main phase, you may suspend one of your Digimon with Dramon or Examon in its name to force one of your opponent's Digimon to attack. And that's the same as inheritable. Break Dramon says, when one of your Digimon with Dramon or Examon in its name deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. And again, the inheritable is the same. Slayer Dramon says, all turns, when this becomes suspended, unsuspend it. Break Dramon says, when this becomes suspended, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So it's up to you on which one you put underneath and which one you play out. Nonetheless, it's going to be around the same. The only difference is going to be that Slayer Dramon's going to unsuspend itself, while Break Dramon is going to suspend something else. And so because there's a lot of suspension there's a lot of suspension finagling, for lack of a better term, Examon, when this Digimon becomes suspended, unsuspended, and suspends one of your opponent's Digimon, is going to be huge. Because you're able to swing over things and burn security with Break Dramon. You're able to use Slayer Dramon to force one of your opponent's Digimon to attack and then block it with something like Examon with a blocker inheritable, or you're able to do that and then use Break Dramon to burn the top card of security. So it's an amazing, amazing amount of control. It's an amazing amount of aggression. It's really, really cool. You're kind of building towards that big, giant Examon stack. And theoretically, let's say somebody tries to Iron Fisted Onslaught or swing over your Examon. It has evade. So you suspend it, unsuspend it, and then suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and then some of your other effects may proc, right? And so Examon is a really cool deck coming into the next format that I'm really excited about on playing personally. And let's go ahead and get into our next deck. And now this is the deck I actually knew the least about. I had to do a lot more research than I anticipated to learn more about this deck. But this is going to be called Hina Lynx, kind of the dragons. I don't think there's a set name for it right now. I've heard Hina Lynx been thrown around, but it's because it's based off of this tamer, Hina Kurihara. Hina Kurihara says, if your opponent has a Digimon in play, gain a memory. And your turn, whenever one of your Digimon digivolves into a Digimon with one of the dragons, Rock, Earth, Machine, or Sky in its traits, you may suspend this tamer to activate one of that Digimon's on-play effects. And if you notice, most of these Digimon have pretty powerful on-play effects, right? Let's go through the black line first, right? Jazamon is your rookie. Whenever you play Hina, you gain a memory, and if it has an on-play effect, you gain 1000 DP, whatever. Jazermon is your searcher, right? It reveals top 4, adds a Rock Dragon, Earth Dragon, Bird Dragon, Machine Dragon, or Sky Dragon, and Hina to your hand. And then Jazarichimon and Metallic Dramon are your cool guys. Jazarichimon is just going to devolve one, and then plays a Hina for free. And Metallic Dramon is going to devolve one, and then delete something with play cost 5 or less. But if something isn't deleted by that effect, then all of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon can't digivolve until the end of your opponent's turn. And so that's going to be really cool. You're forcing your opponent's Digimon to either download or swing. And while you have a tamer in play, it gains blocker, reboot, and sec +1 from Jazarichimon. And again, because this deck is interchangeable between red and black, you'll see the red line too. And the red line has Vorvalmon, which says whenever you play a Hina, delete something with 3000 DP or less. Inheritable, it has an on-play. Whenever it has an on-play effect, delete something with 3000 DP or less. Larvalmon is the same searcher as Jazermon, with the same inheritable as Vorvalmon. Lavogaritamon deletes a opponent's Digimon with 5000 DP or less on play, then plays a Hina from a hand without paying its cost. And when with Lavogaritamon, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, if it has an on-play effect, you gain a memory. And then Volcanic Dramon deletes all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. And if no Digimon is deleted, then your opponent can't play Digimon with 5000 DP or less till the end of their turn. It also has a when attacking that says, if you have a tamer in play, trash a card off the top of your opponent's security stack. So it's a really cool deck that revolves around finding this key Hina tamer to be able to activate these on-plays over and over again with your stack by digivolving again and again, getting more searches, getting more digivolves in, and then using Volcanic Dramon and Metallic Dramon to play defensively or offensively, burning security or playing for blockers. So there are a few other decks that got support, but I don't think are actually completely worthy of their own slides. And so this is, here are all the cards that I think are notable enough. We have Dorbickmon, where Dorbickmon is kind of part of this dinosaur, source, ceratopsian kind of deck that I don't think is really that relevant, but it is support for Gamamon, weirdly, that Kano Weissmon from BT9. It says Digicross -2, 5 Digimon cards with different names with dragon in its traits. The big thing with that is that the Japanese version actually says dragon, soar, or ceratopsian. And when it comes to mistakes like this, the Japanese card always takes priority. So that does mean, because all the Gamamons are Ceratopsians, you can Digicross using Gamamons. And so, remember, it's 5 different names, but you have a ton of different Gamamons, you have a ton of different, like, Batel Gamamon, Kano Weissmon. If you put them all underneath, including Kano Weissmon, now this Dorbikmon has the effects of every other Gamamon evolution and Gamamon. And so that's actually kind of cool support for Gamamon. It has Rush. It on-plays and then deletes something with 3000 DP or less. But for each Digimon with Dragon, again, Soar, and Ceratopsian, in its traits in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, add 2000 DP to the maximum DP you can choose with this effect. So that's going to pop something with 13k or less, which is going to be really, really cool. Plus, it gets all those pseudo-inheritables from Kano Weissmon. And so the next card we're going to be looking at is Sorai. And so this is, being a blue hybrid player, this is my favorite card that's coming out. Sorai is a card that doesn't seem to be designed for a specific deck, maybe than other stuff we're going to talk about in a second, but it's great in Blue Flare. It trashes the top 4 Digivolution cards of one of your opponent's Digimon until at the end of your opponent's turn. Your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't attack. That's just going to stun anything with less than 4 sources. And it's going to, and because it trashes off the top, it messes with decks like Melga X or Grandis, right? Or not necessarily Grandis. It messes with decks like Melga X, messes with any cross deck because it trashes those sources and then stuns that Digimon, which is crazy good. Coming out of security, it's going to be really scary. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is this new Hexablow support, the Snow Agumon, Paildramon, and Chris Paildramon. Snow Agumon says, and Paildramon have the inheritable that says, when an opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards with Digivolve, increase the Digivolution cost by 1. Paildramon says choose a Digivolution card under one of your opponent's Digimon and trash it. And then Chris Paildramon does the same thing except with 2 sources and then stun something that doesn't have any sources. And so this is kind of new support for stripping and stunning. And you could say that Sorai is support for this new deck. It's probably going to end up using the Hexablaumon that says all of your opponent's Digimon without sources can't attack or block. But I think this is going to be kind of sparsely used in blue hybrid builds or used in anything that wants to strip and stun sources. And that's kind of the main 3 sets of cards that are coming out that are support for other decks. There's a few, again, loose cards and vanillas that are coming out, of course, but none of them I think are notable enough to highlight. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and look forward to our new EX-03 content coming out soon. Thank you so much for watching.